Hi guys, I hope you can hear this fine. I don't know how good the volume is on this, but I've got a list of questions for everyone that's watching on Loft Rock. And me and Chris have spoken a little bit about what you guys want to hear from me, the things that you want to see, and the questions you want answering. So let me start with the one I always get asked, and that is, how did you get into fashion? See, I didn't get into fashion out of choice. I was quite long, greasy haired guy. I didn't get much attention from women, and I soon noticed this when I became single. I'd got lazy in a relationship, and I thought, really need to do something about this. In fact, if you just go to Google and you want to see that, type in Daniel Johnson Stylist, and you'll probably see some before and afters on there, which are pretty horrific. So I got into fashion because I needed to change something really quickly. I needed to make a visual impact. And I didn't have a clue where to start. I didn't know what worked. I didn't know what didn't work. So I just started copying guys that I thought looked good. And then over years and years and years of practicing, trying new things out, trying things I never would have tried before, I eventually came up with ideas that worked, rules that I could apply. And those rules are put into a big rule book, and we call it the rules of style. And once you know those rules, of course, you know how to break them, and you know how to break them correctly so that you can make your own style work. So over the space of around sort of 2 years, my style went from big greasy heads, going to gigs, not taking much care of myself, into being very conscious of how I looked. And after that extreme period, it sort of came back a little bit and looked a bit normal again. And then I found my style, which, if you do this yourself, you will keep doing and evolving over years and years and years, and eventually keep. In fact, you'll find something you're happy with and stick with it. So that's how I got into fashion. It was a bit of a lifestyle change for me as well. In fact, I went and worked in quite trendy bars where I had to look good, and people were going to judge me for me to actually have that kick up the backside to make a big change. Really simple. If I made a business out of it in the end up because people carried on asking me, "Could you take me shopping?" I said, "Yeah, of course." Anyway, nice and easy. It was an evolution, and I continue to work in fashion up to this day. So I've got a lot of questions to get through here, so I'm going to pick the ones that guys have sent in, which I think are going to be really, really important. Um, so first of all, last week you spoke to Kezia Noble. Kezia is a really, really good friend of mine. We've done a lot of work together, and me and Kezia have just put a book together called "What Girls Want Men to Wear." So it's a sort of one of a kind book, really, because a lot of style books, what people write, they're mainly written by men for other men or women on men, and it's never been an opinion of what women actually think. So me and Kezia went out and we found girls, that had an opinion, that were successful, that had done really well, and obviously had an opinion what guys could listen to and take away. So we put the book together, and we're about to launch that on the 9th of July. So the question really is, has she taught me any lessons? Yes. The thing is, we've got to remember about Kezia is she has such a fantastic insight into a man's mind, and how he approaches women and how his mind works around women. It's invaluable. Honestly, I've seen some of her guys that take a 7-day course who don't have a clue about women, and then at the end of it, they come away and you can see Kezia's influence there because it's a really insightful, logical, but natural advice. It's not trickery or in any way. It's very, very focused information, and all that me and Kezia have tried to take my side in fashion, hers in the pickup world, and put that together into this book. Kezia's taught me a hell of a lot, but I think you should really listen to her advice and maybe not mine on picking up girls. I'm mainly on fashion. Okay, because I've got a lot of listeners, I think, from the US on this one, I want to speak a little bit about the difference between UK style and USA style. This is a question that comes up so much. So, what is the difference between the UK style and the US style? Well, do you know what? It's not as wide a gap as people think. In the US, you tend to have very distinct groups of people that dress in certain ways. Sort of the only thing that we really learn from American movies, and it seems to hold true. So you have the jocks, you have people that are preppy, you have the nerds, you have the drama people, and these things really sort of carry through. So an American person's style tends to be very definitive of that person's lifestyle, whereas in the UK it's a little more muddled. So we have a lot of guys who will dress like they want to appear. So if they want to appear like a banker, or they want to appear like someone successful if they're not as successful as they want to be, or if they want to appear like they're into rock music, they tend to fake it. Um, in terms of sort of specifics of that, well, there's nothing really to go into. We're a lot more traditional in the style, but we bend the rules a lot. In America, seems to be a real, and without being offensive, like we'll pinch things from here, pinch things from there, and then call it something different when really other people have been doing it anyway. But Americans are good at owning the style. They're good at projecting confidence in a style, whereas the British were kind of a little bit more subtle about the whole thing. So, right, okay. There's quite an interesting question here, which I can't believe someone asked this one. Have you ever done any modelling? No, never. I actually did a tiny bit of modelling, but I don't know if you could even call it that for a friend's magazine shoot, but definitely not. It's perhaps a good thing I can't always hear my accent on these modelling shoots because I think it might put them off a little bit. Okay, I've got a very important question here, which I think will be quite insightful for a lot of listeners. It's has there been a certain individual who you've changed for the better just by giving him more confidence in how he feels or looks? Short answer, yes. In fact, everyone I work with, I don't like to send someone, one of my personal customers, one of my clients, I will never see them walk away having an appearance that they're not happy with and they don't feel more comfortable in or more confident and more uplifted, because that's what seeing a personal stylist is all about. It's almost about defining yourself as an individual whilst staying within the realms of what you're comfortable with. It's a real positive change. It's not a quick dress in this and you look fantastic. It's a case of dress in this, it'll bring out your personality, it'll work for your lifestyle. If you travel, the clothes will work for you. If you want to attract women, your clothes will attract women. That's the whole outcome. That's what we want. We don't want someone to feel like, oh, I just need to dress up to impress other people. Never. You have to walk away feeling very, 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 very confident. And in fact, one of my clients, in fact, 2 days ago, I think 2 days ago, 3 days ago now, actually met one of the girls. The girl he's going to go and marry, and he met her shortly after I'd styled him. He wanted his whole request to me was, Dan, I really want to meet more women, but I think the way I look is holding me back. Can we do something about it? Short answer, of course we can. So I took him out. There was no peacocking, no crazy pick-up world styling. I dressed him very much according to what his lifestyle was, according to his profession, and made him look like who he was. So this guy was an architect, and obviously architects are quite creative people, but they're also very professional people. So when he was saying to a woman, "No, I'm an architect," it sounded before we styled him, it probably came across as, well, you don't look like an architect. You may be just saying that to get some attention from women. And trust me, that's pretty much what I thought as well. We went to town. Took him out shopping. I got him looking absolutely fantastic, and the guy met his future wife. Now, how amazing is that? I mean, I don't know what sort of hypnosis and mumbo jumbo stuff can do that, but trust me, the style has the impact, and it brings out your personality. Another guy is a very serious pickup artist. just as a quick, for instance, story, he just said, I want to get as many girls as possible. What can you do? I said, okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let me come out with you. Let me see what you're doing, and let me see what's holding you back in terms of style, and let's work on it. So we did. I went out with him, watched him for an evening, and I said, this guy should have been getting many, many women. And what happened was they were looking at him and saying, look, you don't, you could tell the girls, like, I think you're telling lies. You haven't got as much money as you say you have, even though he's incredibly wealthy. You don't have your own business. You're probably just working a 9 to 5 somewhere and really hating it. I said, look, we need to dress you like a business owner now. You need to look like the lord of the manor. You need to look supreme. We did that for him, and trust me, the guy is on fire. And he called me about a month ago and said, Dan, I don't know what you've done, but something has happened, and women are all of a sudden very interested. I said, great, well, we've done the job then. We've done exactly what we set out to do. Fantastic. Okay, moving on. What brands do you think are the best to work with? Well, the thing here is, no brand is the best and no brand is the worst, because I have such a range of clients. I styled royalty, I've styled celebrities, I've styled students with maybe £50 or £100 to spend, or in US dollars, maybe $200, $300 to spend. In terms of buying clothing, obviously that's quite a hard thing to do on that budget, but it can be done. So you have to think about the brands you're going to take someone to dress in according to the budget, according to their personality, according to their lifestyle. So no brand's hard to dress someone in. No brand is easy to dress someone in. It very much depends on the person. Personally, I like the style of really English brands, the very English look. I mean, for example, I'm wearing a blue blazer and a pocket square here that's got butterflies on it. Not everyone's taste, but I personally like the whole tailored look and the open shirt look. A little bit too open today, maybe. That's very much what sort of thing you get in Paul Smith, etc. I really love Paul Smith clothes, and I champion British brands because we have a real culture of getting stuck in and doing something against the odds in Britain. I'm recently working with Mulberry, who started in a kitchen with very minimal equipment, and the brand is absolutely huge now. In fact, we've just taken on another 150 people. And guys, just a quick one. If you think Mulberry is just a women's brand, it's not. They have men's things in there as well. And one of the reasons I love Mulberry and their style is because I hate men wearing backpacks. I cannot stand it. I see in the city in London, I see some guys in immaculate suits, and then they've got a big rucksack over the back, and it just ruins the whole thing. And just to give you a sneak preview of the book that me and Kezia are bringing out, that is one of the biggest hates of women, especially one of Kezia's as well. That guys with backpacks, it's like, dude, grow up. Get rid of the backpack. You don't need it. Get a proper bag. Get a Mulberry. Invest a little bit of money. Super nice bags. Super nice style. Okay. I'll go, which country do you think has the best style? Well, I'm a little bit biased. I love the English style. I love the way the English dress. But also, I mean, maybe this is a bit of a cliche as well, but the way Italians dress, it's they always use the same word, elegant, but it really, really is. I mean, the cut of the clothes is fantastic. The way that the Italians take pride in what they wear is absolutely spot on. Maybe some things English wouldn't wear, maybe some things Americans wouldn't wear, but just as from an observation point of view, I really do like the Italian style. Okay, we've got one here. I've got, who do you look up to in fashion? Who are your icons? Who do you follow? And how do you keep evolving your style? I think one of the main points here is about evolving style. I think the best dressed men in the world, and if you want the little secret, the best dressed men in the world are those who are constantly evolving their style. Now, this doesn't mean changing your style. One of the main things that a lot of men forget is that they are getting older. and you have to dress accordingly. In fact, one of the main things that I put focus on in this book is how to dress for your age. One of the biggest hates for women, and especially me as well as a stylist, is that I hate seeing older guys dressing too young or younger guys dressing too old, um, and vice versa. Older men especially think that dressing in younger clothing is going to make them look much younger, but in fact it does the opposite. It makes them look older and more out of touch. So I mean, really, that is a huge error to make. And younger guys that look older, um, that's terrible. Enjoy your youth. When you're in your 20s, you should be really experimenting with your style, trying different things out, making different things work for you. When you get older, that's when your style has evolved a little more. You've got more of an idea of what suits you, what works for you, and that's really the key factor here. I look at people like Paul Smith, David Bowie, for example. Tom Ford is another good one, who all constantly evolve their style, but you never see any huge changes. But they always look like they're in touch with what's going on in the fashion world, but without being too outlandish or crazy. Um, the other part of that was where are we? Who are your icons? I mentioned that a bit already. Who do you follow? If honest, I think in terms of following certain people, I've stopped doing that now because I like to draw inspiration from many different sources. So, for example, you might think, okay, what am I going to wear during the day? So I'll look at certain brands and the way certain countries dress for during the day and draw from that. And I never look at anything specific. It's always drawn from a variety of different places. So there's no hard and fast rules. There are obviously things to consider. Dressing during the day, for example, are you going to be traveling? Are you going to be going underground? Are you going to be on public transport? Are you going to be in a car? These are things you should be thinking about. Again, it's something else I mentioned in the ebook, what girls want men to wear, because none of these factors are normally considered. And the best stylists in the world, they consider those. Okay, what magazines do you think are good to read about fashion? Well, personally, and I'll be honest, every magazine I've ever read is only ever trying to sell you something. So they will tell you, dress in this, you'll look amazing. Wear that, you'll look fantastic. Well, no, no, that doesn't work. I always think use the magazines to find out what's current, to find out what shapes work, etc. And just to keep an eye on fashion, don't delve in there. For me, I always follow three golden rules about um, how to stay in fashion and how to look good. And as a man, it's very very simple. So I found these three rules to work in a fashion environment. I worked as a tailor on Savile Row, and the same rules applied there. So here they are. These are three golden rules. A man should always appear to have really wide shoulders, a slim waist, and to look as tall as he can. If you can do those three things, you get three very important qualities in your look. You get masculinity, that comes from the strength in the shoulders. You get the strength, of course, like I just mentioned, that comes from the arms and comes from the chest. And then you get height, so you look taller. That comes from making your legs look longer and the waist looking slimmer. Three very very simple rules. And instead of looking at a garment and thinking, is this in fashion? Look at it and think, will it make my shoulders appear wider? Will it make my waist look narrower? Will it make me look taller, etc.? That's what you should be looking for in clothes. Shopping then becomes very, very, very easy. So you don't have to worry about is it in fashion? Is it the right colour? Just know that it works for you and it does the things that you want. Okay, quick one. Tight or baggy? I can't answer that question. Tight or baggy? It depends on if you're a big fat guy, don't wear tight. Don't wear baggy either. Wear well fitted. Tight or baggy is a style choice. If you're a rapper from, I don't know, somewhere where there's a lot of rappers from, then dress in baggy clothing. That's your thing. If you're a rock star, wear tight things. It's pretty obvious. Um, Favorite watch brands? Okay, this is a quick one. A lot of guys love watches, and watches are a bit of success pornography, I think. So a good watch I love in terms of style, but maybe not in terms of price, is Blancpain, Blancpain. They do some absolutely amazing watches, and they're really subtle, they're really elegant, and that's for me what a watch should be. Personally, I really hate the giant watches with big buttons and self-destruct and launching nuclear missiles, etc. I hate watches like that. And let me tell you something, women hate them too. Women don't like watches like that. So drop it. So have a look at Blancpain and Patek Philippe. Get some ideas of style choices and then go get a cheap one. So we're talking millions of pounds for some of these watches. Do you work out much? Let me tell you a secret. If you follow those 3 simple rules, you don't have to work out at the gym. Because if you can slim yourself down and look taller, you don't need to work out. I'm not saying be unhealthy and eat fries and burgers and never get up and do anything. No, not at all. But use clothes in the correct way and you can look stronger, you can look taller, and you can look more attractive. Easy. Um, okay, so there's. Can you tell us how you met Kezia as well? This is going back to an earlier subject. Any cool stories or experiences you can share with us? I don't know about that. Well, me and Kezia met in, I think it was about 2007, and we were working on a documentary for French television, and we that was wow. Just recalling that was a long time ago, and I didn't make an impression at all. I think I was really quiet. I wasn't outspoken. I wasn't interested. And then speaking with Kezia, you realise like, wow, this girl knows what she's doing, and that really brought me out a little bit. And then it was a couple of years later we got in touch, and the fashion world collided with the pickup world, and here we are today. And that's how we met up. In terms of cool stories, um, she's the best wing girl out there. We went out one time, and honestly, if you want to attract women, take an attractive girl with you. Having Kezia with you is priceless. Go on one of her courses, trust me. Um, okay, obviously in fashion, I tend to get to go out to some quite cool, trendy places. And one of the questions I've got is, what is your favourite city to go out? What has the best nightlife? For Americans and Europeans, let me tell you that one of my favourite places to go out is Berlin. Berlin has a real sort of sense of it's still finding itself because half of it is, it's so wide open and flat. Honestly, take 3 days, go to Berlin, um, do everything you want to in Berlin, take drugs or whatever it is you do. Not that I condone that behaviour, but go and enjoy yourself in Berlin. I remember going there and not wanting to leave because it really is just cultural. It's a real crossroads of travellers. You've got Australians coming in with backpacks. You've got wealthy people coming in doing trading, and it really is a fantastic place. And it's still a city of two halves. And one of my favourite bars, I don't know if it's still there now, is a place called Ambulance Bar where you can get the best cocktails. Google it, find it. It's on Hackshamack. That's one of my favourite places to go out ever. Of course, London as well, but maybe Berlin. Okay. What do you think of high-waisted pants and cropped trousers? I don't know whether that means whoever asked that question. I don't know if that means high-waisted pants with cropped legs or as two separate styles. But again, it's down to personal taste. If you want to wear high-waisted pants, wear them. It can look a bit odd though if you're short. Because we have this thing called proportion, where from the top of your head to where the pants start should be roughly the same distance as from where your pants start to the ankles of the pants. If you have cropped trousers like that, it could look a little bit odd. But in terms of if you want to look taller, then definitely don't do the cropped trousers or the high waisted. Go for something that sits just on the hips and follows all the way through to the ankle, so you look nice and tall with like nice long legs. If you've got dark trousers on, wear dark shoes with it to make the legs look longer. If you wear light coloured pants, wear light coloured shoes to make your legs look longer. All very simple stuff. Um, Let's see what else we've got here. What brand would I love to? What's been your toughest challenge? Okay, I don't know if this is in terms of life or in terms of fashion, but let me tell you one in terms of fashion. Um, Now and again, I'll get a client who wants something very specific. So I have people who can't wear certain fabrics and they don't like certain colours. And some guys who tend to be very large. So trying to dress a guy who's sort of 28 stone or 100, what I don't know what that converts to in America, but well, a big guy, a really huge guy. Trying to dress someone like that is very difficult. However, if you find the sizes, it's not. Um, Trying to dress someone that it does have its challenges, but again, stick to those 3 rules and it works. In terms of lifestyle challenges, one of my websites which I created and I was a big challenge. The way it's therulesofstyle.com, www.therulesofstyle.com. It took me 2 years to create that website, and I realized that not every man could afford a personal stylist. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to create a website where guys could go and they could put in their information, so their face shape, their hair color, how tall they are, all your personal details. And I wanted that information to be fed to a personal stylist who could then create a guide for that person. And it has to be bespoke, so a guide that tells you what colours suit you, a guide that tells you what cut of jeans to wear, what necklines to wear, what styles are going to suit you, how to make your body look slimmer, how to make it look taller, stronger, how to get all these attributes using clothing, because as a personal stylist, that is what I do. But I know not everyone can afford a personal stylist. So it took me 2 years to create this website, and I did it. And it nearly killed me, and I got a lot of grey hairs. But if you go to that website, therulesofstyle.com, you can create that guide. We'll print it, we'll package it, and we'll send it off to you. And that goes worldwide, free shipping, because I really have a genuine fire that needs dousing, because men need to know how to dress well. Because if you go through your whole life and you don't dress well, then you're missing out on something very exciting. When you dress well, people notice you. People want you to go to the front of a queue in a club. People want to do business with you. Women want to meet you. If you're not using that, why not start using it? So for what, £50, $60, $70, you can find out what works for you, and you can use that for the rest of your life. Go give it a try. Go give it a try. And if you really want, go for the more expensive package and we can have a direct conversation. I can build your wardrobe. I can do anything like that you wish. Just looking at some of the questions that have just come in. Let's have a look. Let's see what else has come in. Okay. Wardrobe essentials. What should I have in my wardrobe that I can wear with anything? Okay, this is quite a good one actually. I think it's very important to have at least 10 key items in your wardrobe. So the ones that are really important are first of all, let's start from a bottom up. Let's start with shoes. Shoes, you should always have a pair of smart brogues. Brogues are fantastic shoes. Brown brogues, or not black ones, brown brogues. And also keep a pair of like white plimsolls, because they can go with anything. Then after that, pair of dark blue jeans. They can go with anything as well. They're so versatile. Next, plain white shirts. Plain white shirts are at a core of a wardrobe. They can be worn with a pair of jeans, a pair of shorts. They can be worn under a jumper. They can be worn with a t-shirt underneath. They can be worn with a jacket, a suit. This is one of the most vital items I think you should have in your wardrobe. Plain white shirts. And then you should always have a selection of blazers, jumpers, and coats to go over the top. Personally, I stick to a rule when I'm dressing. It's a 5-item rule. First one, shoes. Next, jeans, chinos, trousers. Next one is a white shirt or something on the top like a t-shirt, and then on the top a blazer. If you want to use something else like a watch or a bracelet, that's your 5th item. If you stick to the 5-item rule and the 3 golden rules of dressing like a man, which I mentioned earlier, that is the easiest way to dress. Also keep, as I mentioned, coats. It's good to have coats, jackets, etc. that you can throw on for winter, some lightweight ones for spring, summer. We don't get much summer in England, but maybe in the US you get a little bit more. Belts should always match your shoes, so always have belts that can match up with your shoes. Personally, I like suede brogues at the minute. Suede brogues are fantastic, very much on trend, and I love to match it with a suede belt, and it goes really well with cobalt blue, which is a massive trend. So, leading me on to my next question, what are the biggest trends for you at the minute? Well, although I said I don't really follow trends and I don't keep up with them, I tend to notice what is being pushed in stores. So, like I just mentioned, suede brogues are fantastic, and this colour, cobalt blue, has been huge. When I spoke to Men's Health magazine around a month ago now, we spoke about cobalt blue, and cobalt blue is a fantastic colour to wear at the moment, either in a shirt, in a blazer, in socks if you want to be a little bit more subtle, in chinos. Cobalt blue is the way to go, and I think that's going to carry through to winter as well, because I've seen a lot of winter coats in those colours. Some places might go more neutral, but stick to cobalt blue. I've just got a few emails come in. Just a moment. Okay, I've got one from Adam. If I'm doing a Kezia residential, is it still worthwhile getting your book? As much as I don't want to talk down a sale, yes, it is actually, because there's a lot of information in there that I can't always give you. As you know, Adam, I do work with everyone that comes on Kezia's residential. However, on the day it's quite intense, and if we meet, it can get pretty hectic, and I work at a very fast pace, and I want to get you looking perfect in that time we spend together. So what I would say is, yes, get the book. It's going to be a fantastic permanent reference. It's going to work very, very well. I will teach you as much as I can on the day, but if you get the book, then you've got something that goes into a lot more detail than I ever could on the day. Also, where did you get your jacket from in the picture? I got this from Reese 2 days ago. This is one of my new ones. REISS. I don't know if you get it in the States, but we definitely get it in the UK. Bit of a splurge for me, this jacket, but absolutely love it because I can wear it with absolutely anything. That's where I got it from, Reese. I think I've got it inside there. Oh, inside here. Yeah, there we go. Reese. Really nice jacket. Again, I think let me just filter through the questions here. It brings me on to one about budget. We spoke about if you've got a lot of money to spend or if you haven't. Again, it doesn't matter how much you spend. I've seen exactly the same jacket as this in places like Burberry, and it's going to cost you £900 or £1,000. And trust me, I didn't pay that for this one. It wasn't the cheapest blazer I've ever bought, but it was. I'm not going to say how much it was. But you don't have to spend a lot of money on fashion to look good. In fact, when I was learning all the rules about fashion and what worked and what didn't, I was on a budget. I mean, I was literally on a shoestring. I was a student at the time, and I had no money to spend. So what I did was I would go out and find garments I could alter. So I'd get on the sewing machine, or I'd ask a friend to re-sew them. And I didn't spend hardly any money on clothes. In fact, I probably didn't spend much money on clothes for 6 months. And I still don't believe in spending unnecessary money on clothes either. I think if you've got £50 to spend, you can still look good. If you've got £1,000,000 to spend, you can look fantastic as well, but you can also go the other way and look a total tool, because I've seen quite a few of those around London, and wearing a dead ostrich and a dead fox around your neck, it's not the nicest look. Alright, it cost you £100,000, but you look like an absolute prick. Okay, I've got a couple more questions here, but I think we've covered the main points here. So we've just hit the 35-minute mark. I really need a drink, and you guys need to get working on your style. If you want to ask me anything else, check my personal website out where we do a lot of personal styling. Go to www.daniel-johnson.com. That's daniel-johnson.com. That's where I speak about my personal styling services and what we do and how we help men. You can also get in touch with me on info@daniel-johnson.com. Finally, the ebook we talked about. The one thing I want to mention is 9th of July. That's 9th of July, and that's UK time. It goes live. That's next Tuesday. That goes live. Sign up to Kezia's mailing list, and you will keep in touch about the whole launch, when it's coming out, what you can expect to find in the book, and anything else you should come and ask me. So go to kezia-noble.com, sign up to their mailing list, and you'll be able to get all the information on that. Otherwise, guys, you've got my email address. If there's anything you're unsure about, drop me an email and I will do my very, very best to keep in touch with you. So finally, let's do a quick roundup. Ebook 9th of July, and that's what girls want men to wear. Personal styling or anything like that, get in touch. I'm always willing to help. If you want to book, get in touch as well. For now, guys, that's me, and I'm going to sign off, and it's time to relax for the evening. Hope you guys do the same and enjoy it. Take care. Bye bye.